effects like fades, and then kind of normalize the sound. So here is my podcast final mix. I'm also going to do one more tutorial for you on how to separate out tracks, which is basically just downloading the same track and cutting it up so you have little bits. You'll have to do that if both of your partners did it in one long audio so that you can mix your audio with the other person. So you can have a bit of yours and a bit of the other students and so on and so forth. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and open this up. Okay, so this is my final mix, or the first part of my final podcast. A couple things you can notice here. I've already added a little bit of a fade to the music, and I'm going to show you how that's done. You also notice that it's kind of loud and tinny. You can see that by the frequencies of the sound here. So I'm going to show you how to use this little feature to normalize it. And then I will do a little fade in or fade out, fade in here so you can see how that's done. So you can see, again, from the music to where I talk, I did a little fade.
Hello, and welcome again to your week.
So you can see that's a little bit nicer. The music tapers off, then the voice comes in. To do that, first you look at the frequency, or you listen, look for the frequency of the music shifting to the talking area. Then you go ahead and add a marker. So you click on that area. Sorry, double click here in that zone. I don't want to pull it out, so let's see. Marker. Okay, and then and then go ahead and do add marker and drag it to where you want it. It's sitting where my yellow line is where I was listening, but you do it a little bit before where you start talking, right there. That way at least you can see it stays in place when you're running the soundtrack. Then you select the area before, like this, so where it's highlighted to a different color, go to effects and do fade out. I'm not going to do that again because I already did. Okay, so I'm going to go back to select and deselect. So now, like I said, I want to do a fade in. Those are the goose sounds over here. So when I stop talking, as you can kind of see, there's a little bit of a silence. I'd like to do a fade into the goose sounds. So I'm going to go ahead and select this here. I'm going to go to effects and do a fade in, okay? And then about somewhere around here is where I start talking again. And so I want to fade out the goose sounds and fade those out and then listen to that first little part of the intro. So select, deselect. Let's just go ahead and listen to this first. And I'm going to click, I just kind of click on the soundtrack to get my yellow cursor to where it belongs.
We talk about everything goose. Did you know that the plural for goose is geese? I bet you did.
Okay, so again, like right here, it's a little abrupt. Those are the goose sounds. So maybe I should go and click here. Again, I'm going to add a marker. And then I am going to add a second marker. Where did that go? Marker 1. Oh, okay, there we go. Marker 1 is here. Marker 2 is there because the geese are just going straight through. So I kind of want them to taper off here. So that's marker 1 and 2. Then I'm just going to drag to select and then go over to effects and fade out. Yeah, so the peak sound of that should change a little bit. Might not have gotten far enough. Might have a little extra goose. Let me see here. Select, deselect. Let's go ahead and cut that there. Again, probably want to check that a little bit more before I do this, but we'll see. That might work. Go ahead and I'll clear the markers and then let's play that.
Did you know that the plural for goose is geese? Everything goose. Did you know that the plural for goose is
Okay, so that's fine. That's just super good. There's fades in and out in between the little bits, and then my voice. The last thing I want to do is I'm going to move to the start, and then I can just select all. And what I'd like to do now is just kind of normalize the track itself because it's a little, it's kind of harsh. So I'm going to go ahead and normalize to. So if I go the level all the way up, that's what's making it so loud and brassy. I'm going to take it down a little bit. I'm just going to stay with peak value. That's fine. But if I take this level down slightly, it's just not going to be so harsh. So I'm going to press apply. And then you can see that the overall decibel for the track is not as loud. Again, I'm going to go to deselect and let's play from the beginning. And now I have the volume all the way up on my computer too. I couldn't do that before. So I'm a little above half right now.
Hello, and welcome again to your weekend edition of Goose Facts, where we talk about everything goose. Did you know that the plural for goose is geese? I bet you did.
Okay, and there you go. And that's how you add a few little simple effects to kind of smooth out the podcast a little bit.